February 6th, 2018. This video is called Can Gamma-Induced Mutant Rice Variety be considered non-GMO project verified? And the reason why I came across this is I really haven't eaten any rice since Fukushima, and this isn't about that, but I thought I'd throw this out here. Did you know that brown rice, the cesium is stored under the hull? And also another thing is that there's tests on cesium in the soil in farmland in California, and there's one in Sacramento that the cesium-137 is measuring 2.59 becquerels a kilogram. So just keep that in mind that this is California rice. I thought it would be better than Japanese or Asian rice, and I think it's all the same. It's just not worth eating. But where I'm getting at is this label right here. Alright, so I posed this question whether a genetically induced mutation can be considered organic or non-GMO. And I guess you can. I've posed this question to Jeffrey Smith, the Institute for Responsible Technologies. I posted this on the non-GMO verified project Facebook page. I posed it as a question to both of them on a live chat, and I didn't get any answers except from just people that are on the Facebook pages. And it looks like there's quite a debate where some believe you shouldn't and some believe you can. Now, I believe that you shouldn't be using mutant varieties in food whatsoever, but let alone call them non-GMO, because isn't non-GMO considered not genetically modified? And if they're inducing mutations, isn't that the basis or the purest form of genetic modification? So now I posed this question on the Organic and Non-Organic Report Facebook page. Now, I left the same question on the non-GMO verified live feed during a live session with Jeffrey Smith of the Institute, and the non-GMO project chat with Ken Roseborough. He's the editor of the Organic and Non-Organic Report on January 31st live video, and I received no response. So I gave him a week, no response, and I'm putting this video out there to maybe get some comments out in the world to see what you guys think about it. Now, I also sent an email to the Non-GMO Project Contact Us page with no return response, but you can't send an email to the Institute for Responsible Technologies. There's no way to do that, which I tried. So the questions that I keep coming up with on the Non-GMO Project Facebook page are, they keep asking, what are GMOs? And I will not eat GMOs. Like a little kid is going to be holding a sign that says, I will not eat GMOs. And they also pose the question, where do GMOs show up in my food? Now, I did call the Nishiki. Actually, Nishiki is the brand, and it's out of this JFC International is who makes this rice. I end up looking up the website and calling them myself as a consumer. What I asked them about is this specific question was, can they tell me what variety of rice that they grow? And I told them that I enjoy their products because they're non-GMO verified, but I wanted to ask what variety of rice. I wanted them to tell me what variety of rice this is, because that makes a big difference. And they came back to me, they answered my question, and they stated that they don't know if they're allowed to release that information. So they got back with me, and in a couple minutes later, they told me that that is confidential information. The variety of this rice is confidential information. So I would encourage you to call them yourself and ask them, because I think that's totally absurd that the variety of this rice is kind of like top secret. So this is where I began my research. Let me know what you think about this. I believe that non-GMO project, I think they got too big for their britches. And how can an organization like that be verifying all these foods? Well, I guess once they slap that little symbol right there, that I guess it's a free-for-all. Like everything is non-GMO, and I would like to know who's actually doing these tests to verify this. Where I'm going to start off, it's off topic, but this is what I was telling you about. As of 2011, they tested the cesium that's in the soil in Sacramento in this Sonoma County. And remember, cesium-137 has a half-life of 30 years, so this will be here for 300 years before it fully decays into barium. So the soil contains cesium, and you got to remember when they grow rice, they're basically in pools or ponds, ditches. So actually, it's below the ground surface. So water follows the path of least resistance. And where is all this cesium and isotopes going to end up from the initial fallout from Fukushima? It's going to end up in the lowest places, which are the rice paddies. Now, Organic Consumers Association, here's a guide to GM rice. And they say basically genetically modified means an organism in which the genetic material has been changed through gene technology in a way that does not occur naturally by multiplication and or any natural recombination. That's according to the United Nations in 2000. Now, when they induce mutations in plants, they're using gamma rays, and this is where I can't believe that everybody believes that this is kind of normal and there's nothing wrong with it. When you have the gamma radiation ends in breaking the DNA, this is how a cancer cell grows into a tumor. It's a mutation through radiation. How can it be any different because it happens to plants? See, the DNA, the chromosomes are being they're being destroyed. That is the root and the born of cancer cells. Now this is a regular before. This is from UV photon, but it's the same concept whether it's radiation or a chemical, and it ends up destroying the DNA in here. This is what's fascinating, is this joint program, Nuclear Techniques for Food and Agriculture. When I came across this, I cannot believe that a big percentage of our food is actually, what we're eating was created by gamma radiation and their mutations. We're eating mutations, and I can't prove it or not, but how do we not know that these mutations are causing cancers in us? Since the 1960s, gamma rays have become the most commonly used mutagenic radiation in plant breeding during the past 2 decades. Ion beam radiation has emerged as an effective and unique mutagen. Now, they used other types, X-rays, alphas, neutrons, all this stuff, even space radiation, to induce mutations. Now it says radiation can increase the natural mutation rate by 1,000 to 1,000,000 fold. This is what's deceiving. Natural. Now I can't remember or know of exactly what they are irradiating with. It's a gamma ray, but if you're telling me they're using a gamma ray that is a man-made isotope, there's no way in hell that can be considered natural because it never existed before. Now, according to this introduction to radiation oncology, it's stating that the effects of radiation on DNA single and double strand breaks. Single strand breaks are well repaired because there is an intact template in the other strand. Repair occurs during the next 6 hours. In the International Atomic Energy Agency, it says the mandate of the IAEA is to seek to accelerate and enlarge the contribution of atomic energy to peace, better health, and prosperity throughout the world. It kind of sounds like what they're talking about at Fukushima, that I think it's the World Health Organization doesn't believe that one person has been harmed by the Fukushima disaster. And so you have the same people, the IAEA, telling you that we could safely, for better health, mutate our plant kingdom that we're eating, and it's actually going to contribute to our health. Now, this is the mutant variety search. You can go, and there are 828 records of plants. This one I went just right straight to rice, and on this one there's 828 varieties of rice that have been mutated with most likely gamma radiation. And this is the stuff we're eating. This is just this blows me away, that most of our food that we're eating are mutations. Let's skip over to what is mutagenesis. Mutagenesis creates a mutation in the plant cell through the application of radiation or toxic chemicals to the seed itself. Mutant breeding is the process of exposing seeds to chemicals or radiation in order to generate mutants with desirable traits to be bred with other cultivars. Plants created using mutagenesis are sometimes called mutagenic plants or mutagenic seeds. From 1930 to 2007, more than 2,500 mutagenic plant varieties have been released that have been derived either as a direct result, a direct mutant, 70% of them, or their progeny, 30%. Crop plants account for 75% of released mutagenic species, with the remaining 25% are ornamentals or decorative plants. However, it is unclear how many of these varieties are currently used in agriculture or horticulture around the world, as these seeds are not always identified or labeled as being mutagenic or having mutagenic providence. It's the process. There are different kinds of mutagenic breeding, such as using chemicals, radiation, and it's basically used to generate mutants. Mutation breeding is commonly used to produce traits in crops such as larger seeds, new colors, sweeter fruits that either cannot be found in nature or have been lost during evolution. Now, this is the contact page I sent to Non-GMO Project without a response. Now, I don't know if they're just avoiding the question or didn't receive the email, but a week is plenty of time. Now, this is where it comes down to that nishiki. It's a California rice. So I came across this California rice variety. And this is where I don't know what is what, and I could be mistaken on all this. It's kind of hard to figure out, but the variety naming system, this is the type of grain. M means medium. It's a medium grain. Now maturity is that 1, and the release number is this. M105 is a medium grain with very early maturity. It is the 5th release, whatever that means. The variety of rice, I don't know what the heck that brown rice is, but I can tell you for a fact that here it states that these are varieties in commercial production. And here's a bunch of them. You could look these guys up yourself, but this is the one I want to show you is the special purpose. This one right here, it's a Calamilo 201 in commercial production. Now, if you look on the database, Calamilo 201 is listed here as mutant variety ID 2655 rice. Mutant variety Calamilo 201 is officially approved in 2006, developed by irradiation of seeds with gamma rays. Then it states up in here, here's the parent name, Cala Hikari 201. This was the mother plant that they irradiated. So I can't tell you about that other one 100%, but right here, if you find the Calamilo 201, it definitely is mutant rice. How we could find out the other ones, I guess we're not supposed to find out, I guess. But this one I'm 100% sure of. Now, right over here, what got my eye is this M202, which I believe is the brown rice variety, but I'm not 100% sure because they're not going to tell me what variety is. M202, here's the little stats of it, but M202, the year it came out was 1985, and it's a Calrose series. Keep that in mind. Calrose means it's grown in California. M202. Now, on the Nishiki rice, on the Wikipedia, Nishiki is a brand of California-grown medium grain rice sold by JFC International. The species of Nishiki brand rice is known as New Variety, which includes Kokuhu Rose and M401. New Variety, the species known as New Variety. New Variety is a medium grain rice, very similar to Calrose rice, one M201 and M202. New Variety is a medium grain rice, similar to those. Calrose is a medium grain rice variety notable for being the founding variety of the California rice industry. Now, Calrose originated and developed in this experimentation station, and it was released in 1948. Now, under this mutant database, this Calrose 76 comes up. Now, here's the mutant variety ID is 1310. It's a rice. The description, it's the first semi-dwarf table rice variety released in the United States. The mutant variety Calrose 76 was officially approved in 1977. It was developed by irradiation of seeds with gamma rays. 250 grays. Now the development type says direct use of an induced mutant. Now it's telling you the parent type, the original variety, was Calrose. Over the years, improved new varieties with Calrose rice grain cooking and processing characteristics were released. It says it commingled with Calrose in storage and later replaced the variety in commercial production due to the superiority performance at many levels. Although that variety of Calrose is no longer grown, Calrose has become a name recognized in the trade and the marketplace for the California type medium grain rice. So it seems like this might have been the very first rice that they were playing with. And from what I gather, the original Calrose is not a mutant because it came out in 48. But if you look at the Calrose 76, it was the first semi-dwarf table rice released in the USA. The mutant variety Calrose 76 was officially approved in 1977. It was developed by irradiation of seeds with gamma radiation. Now it says the parent actually was Calrose, so they dosed it with 250 grays of gamma rays. And over here I found out what they used. It's cobalt 60 right here. Cobalt 60 gamma radiation is what they used to mutate it with. So here's all these other names, CSM3. So you really don't know what the heck these varieties are because they're giving them these variety names. See all these names, and there's numbers. What was it? CM50 it said. Here's a CM1, CM6. Look at here in Japan, mostly China, India, Korea. So I don't know if I'd feel safe eating rice anymore, even though I don't anyways. But what about you? Would you feel safe eating a mutant strain of rice? Now here is M401 of the database. The mutant variety is 1314. The mutant variety M401 was officially approved in 1981, developed by irradiation of seeds with gamma rays. The original variety, the parent name, was Terso. It says it was induced by gamma rays, but it wasn't stated. The mutant gene was gamma rays. Now here's the 202. M202 just means the medium grain. That's what the 202 stands for. Now, is this the same 202, the M202 that they're talking about over here? New variety is a medium grain rice similar to the 201 and the 202. Now, the 202, if this is what they're talking about, M202, medium grain 202, it was officially approved in 73. Developed by the irradiation of seeds with gamma rays. Registration year 1973. It's considered a cereal grain. And the original parent name was IR8. Well, let's get rid of the rice. and you'll see that there's a total record of 3,275 varieties of irradiation-induced plants. Look what you got. Potatoes, rice, rapeseed, paper flower, rose, wheat, bean, oat, carnations, barley, dahlias, peas, strawberries. Look at this, the strawberries, peppers. This is what's disheartening. I will believe that almost all of, although we can't prove it because it seems like everything seems to be confidential information, that almost all our food is made from mutant varieties of plants. Where was it? I thought I saw a tomato. Tomatoes. Peas. Apples. The list goes on and on. Rice. Sugarcane. Look at this. It goes on and on and on. So, in conclusion, I'm going to read you a couple comments that I actually got on the Facebook question, and it was just from people that came across my question, and I think it goes to show that some people believe that the non-GMO label can, and some people say cannot, be considered if it's a gamma-induced mutant variety. Now, just remember, the first sheep, Dolly, was a GMO, genetically engineered sheep. These may look normal and just like all the other species of animals and plants that they're making from genetic modification. But remember, Dolly aged faster than it was supposed to be, than normally. So the inside was growing faster than it should, and it aged faster. So just because the animal, like Dolly the sheep, even though it looks like it's normal, inside it was far from normal. Now, the question that I posed was, can a gamma-induced rice variety be considered non-GMO? So this is what I got. Yes, mutagenesis breeding is allowed in organic standards. It has a higher risk of off-target effects and doesn't go through the same pre-market testing as genetically engineered crops. Now, I came back and said, wouldn't that be the most basic level considered genetically modified since genes are being altered? Someone else commented and said, absolutely yes, but companies have never worked to create public fear over breeding methods like mutagenesis or induced polyploidy or somatic fusion. So there isn't a push for regulations and disclosures for regulations like there are with genetically engineered plants. And the last comment I got was no, because GMO requires a genetic molecule to be physically changed on a molecular level, which takes a particular laboratory with the right equipment, as it's extremely precise in its nature. So some people think that it is considered non-GMO. Some people don't consider it non-GMO. Now, this is what I think the non-GMO project verified should figure out. Not just slap a label on every product in the store. And just to say that I think USDA organic is one step above the non-GMO project verified, because organic food cannot contain glyphosate from Roundup, where non-GMO project foods can contain the Roundup or the glyphosate. I wasn't really expecting a response from Jeffrey Smith himself, But I would really like to know and pose that question to Jeffrey Smith. Can a genetically induced mutant variety of plant contain the label non-GMO project? And my answer is a big hell no. Non-GMO should stand for non-GMO. It has not been genetically modified. It's not a genetically modified organism. And I believe a mutant variety with genes that have been scattered or induced into mutation, because that the DNA is broken in a mutant variety caused by, of all things, radiation, there's no way in hell it should be considered non-GMO or organic. And like that one person said, that mutagenesis varieties can be considered under the USDA organic label. And if I had my own way, I'd put the organic Slant label on this food so you could really know what the hell's going on, because that would be the purest form of consumer food, which would be void of pesticides, void of herbicides, and it would truly be an organic, non-genetically modified organism that I would feel safe eating. So let me know what you think, if this is a big scam going on, or we really have to make more regulations and look into what really is considered genetically modified and organic. If in humans and animals the DNA strand is destroyed and it leads to a cancer cell, and a group of cancer cells turns into a tumor, technically, are these mutant plants considered tumored plants?